Hello friends and viewers. Today we are traveling again to Canandaigua in the Finger Lakes area of upstate New York. First, we'll drive down on the Rochester Road to visit Sonnenberg Gardens and Mansion. After that, we'll go at leisure on the Canandaigua Pier, and finally we'll watch the sunset from the Canandaigua outlet in the Kershaw Park.
Look at all these beautiful ladies. All right. I guess we're tasting a little wine today.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
You just had way too much fun doing this job. And you can see it's in the shape of a heart.
It is actually, you're right. Yeah.
Because it's man-made.
Ah, that's why.
Definitely the golf cart driver had a lot of fun on the job. In our previous visit of the Sonnenberg estate, we spent most of the time in the mansion. Today we have come specifically for the gardens. Actually, there is a wedding here and most of the guests have decided to visit the house, like being invited to a party hosted by the Thompsons, and all the rooms are packed. Our casual attire is in sharp contrast with the wedding guests who dressed formally, so gardens it is. After the death of her husband in 1899, Mary Clark Thompson will be credited with the construction of no less than 9 gardens on her Canandaigua property. The next minutes are the story of what Mary created between 1900 and 1923 when she died. We will follow pretty much the pink route, first stop being the Rock Garden. The Rock Garden has a convoluted history. In 1911, 3 gardens named Rock, Wild, and Lily have been completed. 3 years later, in 1914, an artificial canyon and a stone bridge have been added. The limestone was transported 110 kilometers or 71 miles from a quarry in Onondaga near Syracuse. But wait, in 1920, a waterfall and a pool have been added as well. Last but not least, the plants. 190 different species have been used to ensure that the gardens are in continuous bloom from spring to winter. It is worth naming the architect, John Handrahan.
We are at the bridge right now, the bridge in the Stone Garden.
The next stop is the old-fashioned garden. There are a few other places to visit here, like the carriage house, the remains of the former aviary, and have a look to the VA building on the other side of the street. The garden, constructed in 1905, it was inspired by colonial-era gardens in both design and choice of flowers. A generous pergola in the center is giving a distinct character to this place. The next stop is the Rose Garden.
Unfortunately, the roses are gone, they are not in bloom.
This garden was constructed between 1905 and 1906, named at that time Rose Garden and Belvedere. Originally, it had no less than 5,000 rose plants. It was way too much, and the overgrowth gave the impression of neglect. In time, it was reduced to what we see today, 2 circular rows. Completed in 1907, this was the secret garden in the most authentic Italian style. The focal point is the fountain surrounded by marble benches which contrast with the dark green foliage. It is my favorite place in Sonnenberg by a far margin. The Temple of Diana was completed by 1912, but despite the repairs in the 70s, it had to be disassembled in 1999 and the statue was moved in the pavilion of the Blue and White Garden. This is a very fine marble copy of the original, excavated near Rome in 1792, purchased by Napoleon in 1807, and by 1820 it was on display in the Louvre in Paris, where it stands today. The next stop is the Italian Garden. This was the first garden completed in 1903. It features a pathway aligned with the library doors, 4 sunken beds, landscape in the form of fleur-de-lis, a fountain, and a pavilion. Along the garden's northern end, a pergola separates this garden from the Rose Garden. Next stop, the Japanese garden. We entered the Japanese garden through a torii gate. It was constructed in 1906 by a Japanese designer and a team of workers. They returned in 1908 to build the tea house. The last stop is the mini gardens. Again, it was closing time and we had to leave. We'll come back next year, for sure. Before sunset, we go to the Canandaigua Pier.
Bye.